Applebee's 2 for $20. Now that's eating good in the neighborhood.
Life is for living. And at First International Bank and Trust, we're all about living, helping your dreams come true. Because we're not just in the banking business. We're in the first home business, the community sponsorship business, the how do I make this happen business. Making your banking life easy so you can focus on what matters most. First International Bank and Trust. Live first.
A family farm is, well, different. The cab of a tractor is the CEO's office. Board meetings are held on the bed of Grandpa's pickup. And a conference call is a holler across the yard. To hurry your chores, kids, there's homework to be done. A family farm is about family pride as much as profit. Farmers Union Insurance believes this way of life is worth protecting. Because this isn't just where we work, it's also our family's home. Farmers Union Insurance, simply different.
Coming to you live from the Bonfire Studios North. It's another episode of Tours All Access. I'm your host, Peter Theodos. Joining me, as always, is a very cold Mr. Ken Oda. Ken, are you a little cold?
A little bit, yeah. Between being in the office and here, I went home and I had to take the dog out, which I'm just thrilled about. So still haven't completely warmed up yet.
Yeah, and we kind of got a little used to that above freezing here in Minot there for a couple of days.
That nice little break was much
even
needed.
The mid-20s was nice, just not quite above freezing, but
it was a 60-degree warm-up.
It was. It really was, and it was super nice. But
we're not a weather report.
Toros, this past weekend, had the North Iowa Bulls in town for the second time, and after last weekend, standings stay exactly the same as they were before last weekend.
Yeah, we split with North Iowa. Bismarck sweeps Aberdeen, but still hasn't climbed out of the basement yet, and that leaves Austin and St. Cloud, and they split. So everyone's pretty much right where they were, and it's just tack another week off the schedule with no real changes.
Nope, not at all, and it was big for the Toros. To stay right where they are, to have a St. Cloud team that we also haven't seen in quite some time come back to the Mesa Arena this upcoming weekend. It's going to be huge.
Yeah.
Austin's got Aberdeen, who, Aberdeen's going to be hungry coming off their sweep. Austin's still really good. St. Cloud, even though they're 5 games behind us, game-wise, they're still going to be a good team.
Yep. There's no easy nights in the Central Division, and that's probably more true this year than it's ever been, even dating back to when our guest played. But
yeah, absolutely.
Dreamcatcher jerseys as well.
Dreamcatcher
jerseys, it's the last weekend for those, so jump online and bid on those. Support Dreamcatcher Baseball, who we've been a part of for years. The Dreamcatcher softball game goes back for as long as I can remember. We can ask our guests.
Absolutely.
I know if he remembers Aaron Bliven and the Dreamcatcher Baseball. So Aaron's been our honorary captain forever.
Yeah, so, absolutely. Let's just bring in our guests.
Yeah, we
fans,
keep hinting at it.
Please welcome back the very first ever Toros NCAA Division I commit, Mr. Tyler Parks. Tyler, welcome to Toros All Access.
Yeah, thanks guys for having me. I appreciate it.
Tyler's coming from a very much warmer Atlanta, Georgia, and is heading to a much warmer Florida.
Yes.
So we're not jealous at all here, Tyler, just so you know.
I'll have to enjoy the warm weather for you guys.
Yeah, I looked it up. I mentioned this to you before we went live here, but almost exactly 10 years since you became the first Division I commit for the Toros. It was January 23rd of 2013. Here we are on the, I want to say 19th.
19th.
Yeah, the 19th. So just 4 days shy of 10 years exactly. Let's start there. What do you remember from being the first commit in Toro history?
Yeah, it's crazy to think about, honestly. A lot of the things I think about when I was going through the commitment process with Minot was kind of going through it with Marty Murray. I know it was his first time, obviously. He never really dealt with all the NCAA stuff. He was a major junior guy. So I remember he invited me over to his house for dinner, and we were in his basement trying to contact teams and trying to help each other figure it out along the way. So
Tyler, I love doing this every chance I have just to make Ken feel old. But 2013, I was a sophomore in high school, just for the record. Like I said, just love to make him feel old every chance I have.
I was old when I got here and he was playing. I was 7 years older than the guys. Now I'm 17 years older than the oldest guys. So, yeah.
love it.
Tyler, you, for the fans that don't know, you played your second to last year of juniors in Springfield for the Junior Blues, and you were traded over to the Toros after the Toros' first season, which was a 7-win season for the team. Talk about your reaction when you found out that you were traded to the Toros.
Yeah, it was pretty hard, obviously, kind of seeing the first year of their existence, obviously only winning 7 games. I was in the USHL for a little bit too with Muskegon during the Fall Classic, but had a good conversation with Marty Murray. He's kind of the main reason that got me there. We were just kind of talking, and he's like, we only won 7 games the year before you. If we were really hard, he's like, if you come in here, do your job, work hard. He's like, and we start winning games, people are going to wonder why we're winning games, why we're so successful. So, and that's what I wanted to do. My dream was to get a Division I commitment. So I came there with, his faith in me and kind of just, took his word and tried to work towards everything that he said would happen. And it ended up happening. So I couldn't be more thankful for that.
Yeah, you did come in and you were a huge part of the reason why that team made the playoffs, became our first playoff team. We haven't missed the playoffs since, but, I look back to that team and your success as being a huge part of what turned the organization around. How much have you continued to follow the Toros, and how much pride do you take in the success of the program that your group started to build?
Yeah, I think it's awesome. I still follow the Toros every once in a while, obviously, and I'm really passionate about the organization still because it helped me achieve my dreams. And it's cool to see, after my first year, I want to say there was, correct me if I'm wrong, but I want to say there was like 4 straight years where even the starter and backup goalie committed to a Division I college. Yep. You guys had a good streak.
Yeah, I think we've only had 2 goalies who've been here full time ever not go Division I, and that started with you. So
yeah, and that's something awesome and something that I'm really prideful in too. And like I said, that organization was great for me, from the ownership down to the coaches, down to everything. So nothing but good things to say about the organization.
You since you left Minot, you want to just give fans a quick kind of run through? You're still playing the game. Obviously, you're down with the Atlanta Gladiators in the ECHL now, but just kind of run people through your path.
Yeah, so it's been crazy. Obviously, had some NCAA eligibility issues, so I played 2 years at St. Lawrence, 1 year at a D3 school, and then with my NCAA eligibility stuff, my clock started when I was playing for Minot because I was taking classes as a full-time student. So that's where I kind of ran into some issues. So then decided just to start playing professional after that 1 year at Adrian College. Had to start in the SPHL, which is kind of the lowest of the low of pro, and just kind of work my way up, having played in, the AHL, the American Hockey League, right under the NHL, the ECHL. This year I'm on a AHL deal with Belleville Senators, the Ottawa Senators AHL team. So this is their ECHL affiliate. So now I'm down in Atlanta. Last year I was in Europe and Slovakia too during the COVID year because I thought everything would be a little hectic over here. I didn't think the season would quite play out over here with COVID. So that's why I decided to go to Europe last year because I knew they were for sure going to have a season. So,
and I'll go ahead.
What were some differences that you saw over there? You just briefly mentioned playing over in Slovakia. What were some differences between the two different styles of play?
Yeah, it's different. I'd say like where I was in Europe, like I don't know. I think it's a lot more open ice. Obviously, the ice sheet's way bigger, so guys are a lot faster. They use their speed. They want to play a more skilled game. Here, it's guys grinding it out, a little more physical with that skill too. So I think that's one of the main differences.
How much does the wider ice sheet change your angles as a goalie? I think that probably gets overlooked. People talk about the extra skill and the more space for the skaters, but for you, that means shots from the hash marks or the points are coming from maybe different angles than you're used to as well.
Yeah. It took me a little bit. I'd say my first couple weeks, it took me a little bit because the year before that I was in Tucson in the American Hockey League and Rapid City in the ECHL. So obviously it's a fast-paced game in North America with the smaller ice sheets. So it took a little bit to get used to the angles and like there was a lot more like time and distance that the puck has to travel with being a longer ice sheet. So you can't just drop down. You really have to be patient and stay on your feet as long as possible. So I think that was one of the biggest differences too.
You've bounced around. You've played in a lot of markets, but you're having a ton of success right now in the ECHL with Atlanta. What's been the key for you in the success you found there this year?
Yeah, I think just trying to, after AHL camp, the Belleville Senators organization just told me that they want me to go down, play games, get confidence. So I think I've just been trying to do that. I've been trying to play every game. Like, obviously, I still want to get to the NHL at some point in my career. So I'm just trying to play every game like it is my NHL and make sure that I'm trying to work on the little details that they want to work on. The goalie coach is really good. He's Justin Peters up there. He played in the NHL for like 82 games, so he's been awesome doing video with me, working with him, and he just says like he wants to get me towards that level. So everything that we do at this level is going towards that development path. So,
are there any players that you've played with, whether it's been in the EC or the SP, that are former Toros, or just other players from the NA that you've played against that you remember?
Yeah, so when I was in Tucson with the Coyotes organization, I actually played against the hometown hero Mason Morelli.
Okay.
He was in Stockton, so got to play against him when he was in with the Stockton Heat, Calgary's affiliate. So that was pretty cool, like seeing him during warm-ups and kind of talking a little bit. One game I was actually scratched because Darcy Kemper was down in Arizona. So I was talking to his family. His family came down to Tucson to watch that game, so I got to kind of talk with his family a little bit. So that was pretty neat.
And then you were paired with Merrick Madsen, weren't you? Did your guys' paths cross as well?
Yeah. That was in Rapid City.
Okay, yeah.
He was with the Coyotes organization, and we got to talk about Minot and everything too. And he's a great guy. I think he's awesome.
Other guys you may have crossed paths with, or is that pretty much it? Maybe John Lizotte during your time in the
No, I never crossed paths with him. I want to say I might have played against Jake Clifford actually.
Okay.
When I think he was in Tulsa.
Yeah, he was in Tulsa for a bit.
Yeah, I think I might have played against him a couple of times. And my last year in Rapid, when I was up and down between there and Tucson, Scott Dornbrock lived with me for he was only there for a couple of weeks, but he was my roommate. So
very cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
What lessons did you learn in Minot, if any, that have stuck with you throughout your entire career here?
Yeah, I think kind of at that young age, I think kind of the mindset to kind of get that pro mentality. I think it all starts in junior hockey, and I think Minot was a huge piece for me, doing goalie ice before, making sure that I was staying out after practice, kind of getting in those good habits that, have stayed with me all these years and that I think have made me the hockey player that I am today.
If you could talk to any future Toro, whether he's already signed a tender or any player that's on the team right now, what's one piece of advice that you would want to pass on to them?
Yeah, I'd definitely say make sure that you're working hard, you're doing the little things right, you're doing the little details, you're taking care of your body every day, you're getting on the ice early, you're staying late, you're being a good teammate, you're making sure that you know what I mean, making sure that you bring positive energy to the rink every day. I think those are huge things for anybody to have success, and especially at that young age. I know it can kind of be hard because some guys have their own egos. They're having a tough time. They really don't know how to work through when the going gets tough. But I think if they can kind of stick to those little details, I think that's going to help them succeed too.
We briefly talked about the players that you've played against. Are you in touch with any of the guys that you played with the Toros, whether they're not playing or not? But do you just talk to them at all, any?
No, I think the only one I talked to was Mason a little bit when I was up and down, because he played in Omaha too, and I have a couple of good buddies who I trained with in the summer who played in Omaha as well. So he came down to St. Louis, and I got to skate with him as well there when he was coming down to see my buddies. So that was pretty neat.
And then before we were on, you mentioned you ran into Marty this summer?
Yeah. I was actually up in Sioux Falls. That's where my girlfriend's from, and I was training up there, and he's obviously the coach of the Stampede up there. So I was skating at their practice facility, so I got to drop in and see him after I was done skating. So he's still one of the best coaches I've ever played for, so I have nothing but good things to say about him. It's good to see him.
How about your time here in Minot? Anything or what's your best memory of your time here, I should say?
My best memory, I want to say, I think it was when we went to Wenatchee. I thought that was so cool when we had a Western swing. We went to Wenatchee when they were in the league, and Fresno. Fresno, yeah. So I think that was up there too. I also had a job when I played in Minot. I worked at Acme Tools, so that was pretty fun. With a bunch of us worked there, and the managers were really good to us and everything. So I think that helped that we'd go there before practice and stuff. So I think that kind of helped us bond a little bit as well.
We mentioned you're from St. Louis, and before we got on the show, we talked a little bit, and you're a pretty big baseball guy. And being in Atlanta, obviously with the World Series, the Commissioner's Trophy now in Atlanta, and the Braves winning the World Series, did you attend any of the World Series games or go to any of the watch parties?
Yeah, no, I was actually in Belleville in the AHL, so I was up in Canada whenever they won the World Series. So just got to hear a lot from my teammates. They were down there at kind of the bar area and everything, and said it was a blast, and the city was going crazy, especially now with the Georgia Bulldogs winning the NCAA championship for football. So it's pretty crazy down here right now.
Have the Gladiators done anything for the Braves or the Bulldogs?
I don't think they've done anything yet. I think they've just made a couple social media posts, but I don't think they've done anything for them yet. I think that might be in the works though.
How popular is hockey down there?
It's crazy. Like it's not really that popular, but we get a ton of fans. Like we get a good amount of traction for the market that we're in. I think with a lot of people interested. We're kind of in a suburb of Atlanta, so we're right outside the city, but they've been doing a good job kind of marketing and getting crowds in the building. So it's been really nice, actually.
Cool. Any before we let you go, I know you mentioned you guys got to catch a bus at midnight to head out to Florida, so we'll let you take a nap here. But anything else you just wanted to say back to the fans in Minot who have kept an eye on you over all these years?
Yeah, no, I just want to say thank you guys for everything. Thanks for the support, and you guys are what makes this organization great as well. I remember when I was playing, like, the fans were rowdy, the fans were in it, especially the games we played Bismarck and everything. So, just like I have that to say, I know that all the kids in Minot appreciate it day in and day out too.
Tyler, we appreciate you taking some time out of your busy schedule to come on the show, and I hope you enjoy that warm weather, not as much as you expect.
It'll be great. I can't wait.
Well, we appreciate you coming on the show. Fans, that is Tyler Parks.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Parksy. That's awesome to get to catch up with.
Absolutely. And we did that a couple summers ago where we talked to a few of the alum.
Jake Rosenbaum, who was at UMD, and Mason Morelli, who Parksy brought up. So it is always fun to catch up with some of the guys. And I mean, if there's one perk of maybe the pandemic, it's that Zoom and FaceTime and all these technologies have become a little more commonplace and allow us to do things like that.
Absolutely. And to be able also, you've been around now for 10 years. You still have a lot of...
bring that up?
Yeah, I do. I love doing that. You still have a lot of these connections. Yeah. You were able to reach out to Parksy when he recently got called up to congratulate him, and it just came up in conversation. So for you to still be here too, that helps my job out a lot to bring these guys and these guests back on the show.
It's crazy. I mean, like I said, I looked it up earlier today. We're 4 days short of 10 years since he committed and became the first commit, and now we've got 75 commits, and Little birdie, maybe 76 and 77 in the next few weeks.
Absolutely.
And then, top prospects rosters will be announced any day now, and probably get 2 or 3 more out of that. So, it's going to be a year, maybe 2. We'll be at 100 commits.
Absolutely.
And that's, to come all the way from Parksy that second year of the franchise, to be pushing that many is just unbelievable.
Absolutely. So, for fans, for Sean Bacco and behind the scenes, always doing a great job. As always, that's a very cold Ken Oda who will go let warm up. I'm Peter Theodos. We'll see you at the rink this weekend.